Hello everyone, welcome to the new video in the series of Room Library in Android. In this video, we will complete the UI and the data state of this add subject screen. So for that, we will go to our code, and in here we have this subjects package. In that we have subject screen. So first we will create a separate package to retain this landing or main screen of this module. So I will create a new package named as main, and in that move these subject screen files and components, and create a new package named as add, and in that we will create a file named as add subject screen. Here we will type COMP and press tab and name the screen as add subject screen, add subject content. So in this add subject content composable, we will define the UI components of the screen. So here we will create a package named as components, and, create a file named as add subject content. So if we understand the layout of this screen, so in we can divide this screen into two segments. The first segment is this top app bar, and the second segment is this input field form, which have two input field and one button to perform the save action. So we will start with this inner segment, which is a form. So here these items are showing vertically, and we can use column composable for that. Modifier width to assign the full available width to this column, and in that we have text field. The placeholder for this text field is name, so placeholder text name, and provide the full width to this text field using modifier. Okay, and same is the use for credit hours. So we will copy this one and paste it in here. And one difference will be the input field keyboard for this one should only have numbers. So we have keyboard options here, and which have parameter named as keyboard type, and use the number type. So user will be able to see this keyboard which has only numbers in it. And we also need to provide the padding between these two text fields. So here we will add a spacer. Height 6 dp, and also add the spacer here. So let's add a spacer of 24 dp, and add this button which take full width and some padding horizontally. Provide the full width using modifier dot width fill max width, and for horizontal padding we will use padding method and use the horizontal property to 16 dp. Okay, so we have done complete the this segment. So let's see the preview of this one, and then move to this app bar section. So to see the preview here, we will create another composable by tapping PREV and press tab, and subject content preview, and in here we will use app theme and add subject content. Now go to the this split view mode and build and refresh. Okay, so we have seen an error here. This is because we haven't imported this add subject content in this file. We press Alt Enter to import this. Now go back to the add subject content file and build and refresh. Okay, so we are able to see our input fields with the button. Now we will actually we need to wrap this into surface, so we will be able to see a white background here. Okay, and now add some of the padding between the border of this screen and the form fields. So for that we will apply the padding 16 dp from all sides. Okay, next thing is go back to the code view, and now we will proceed with this top app bar. So to present this top app bar, we will use a scaffold composable. In that we have one section is the body section, so we will move our body of this screen in this section, and there is a constraint that this content section also provide the padding values which are mandatory for any segment here to incorporate that padding, uh, because scaffold is a composable which allows us to use the different segments or components of the screen with to place those components there, and they are more optimized to work effectively. So here we will name it as inner padding and also incorporate that padding in this column. In scaffold we have a property named as top bar, top app bar, which has title, subjects, and navigation action. Here we'll show the icons dot auto mirrored dot default dot arrow back, and content description we will pass null, and we are seeing some warning here. So this is because this top app bar is still in experimental phase, so we need to opt in that we are using a experimental material 3 API. Okay, now if we see the preview again, we will be able to see this style of layout. So we need further improvements here that we need to provide the background color of this top app bar and add the spacing between this arrow back button and this subject's title. So first start with this spacing. We will provide horizontal padding to this icon, and for colors we set this parameter colors, and here we have this default method which provides the color. We will use this one and make the copy of this and override the relevant colors which we want. We want the container color needs to be material theme dot color scheme dot primary, and this text and back button color should be white, so this would be on primary. So okay, and now if we see the preview again, so we are able to see the background color of updated background color of this top app bar. There is some difference between these color, and I am also observing this issue in the preview during in development in the Android Studio. If we run this preview directly on our device, then we will be able to see those same colors which we have on our this screenshot. Okay, so here we are able to see the same layout which we have in our screenshot. Now we will define the UI state for this screen, and on this screen we have um, two fields here. So we will hold that field's value at some place. So we will define the UI state. So in here we will create a new file, AddSubject UI state, and this would be a data class which have two fields, subject name and credit hours. And by default this will have empty values, and now we need to hold that UI state somewhere during the life cycle of this composable or of the screens or of or of the life cycle of the screen. So for that we will create a view model and subject view model which will extend the view model class, and in here we will create a private data member named as UI state, which would be a mutable state flow, and we will provide the default value here at subject UI state and expose the immutable version of this to uh, outside the scope of this view model. So we will create a public variable named as UI state and convert map this UI state to as state flow. And in our add subject screen here we will pass the instance of this view model using a view model method which will coming from the compose dependency which provide the instance of the relevant view model. And to access the UI state we will create a variable UI state and view model dot UI state collect as state with life cycle, and press Alt Enter again to import the extension function. So now whenever any change will happen in this UI state, then this value will be changed and our UI will be recomposed. So we will now pass this UI state in this content component, and here define the parameter UI state. And to present those values in the UI, we will place those values in the input fields. Okay, and next step would be we also need to handle those actions which will user perform. Let's say user will type anything in the name, in the credit hours, or tap on this save or back button. So these are the actions which are expected from the UI, and the view model will handle these actions and do the appropriate operations. Let's say update the UI state if user update these, type anything in these two text fields, and if user tap on the save or back button, then do the relevant operations and navigate the user to the previous screen. So here we will create a sales interface named as AddSubject which would be a serial interface, and in that we will for these two text fields we will create two subclasses. First one will be update name, which take new value in the constructor, and the second will be update credit hours, and another action would be when user tap on this back icon, so we will name it as back icon on click. As we don't need to pass anything with this action, so we will make it as data object. And the last one will be this action when user tap on this save button, so we will name it as save on click. So to handle these actions in our view model, we will create a public method named as onAction. Take this sale class as a parameter, and in here in this method we will use when condition to handle the each action individually. So here we will press Alt Enter, and this will add all the branches which we have against this against each action. So we will call this method from the UI side. So in our screen here we have this add subjects content. In this we will create another parameter named as onAction, which would be a lambda function, and will take add subject action as a parameter. So when user will tap on this back icon, then on click we will pass this action back icon on click, and when user type anything in this name input field, then we will send the action update name and provide the update value with it. And same goes for this credit hours field. And the last one would be this save button. And now we need to pass these actions to our view model. So in our add subject screen here we will have this lambda function, and we will call our view model on action method. So for that we will use this way on action. There are two ways. The simpler and easier way is, let's say we will use this view model dot on action and pass the action in it, and the further more concise way is we can call this method in this way with this double colon annotation. So whenever this on action lambda function will be triggered, this will call the onAction method of this ViewModel, and the parameter value of this lambda function will become the input value for this onAction method. Now here we have some actually in our AddSubject ViewModel. Here when user tap on back icon on click, actually we will cover this later, but first cover these one. So we will have a method named save on click. So press alt enter and create this function. So here we have name. Actually we will create the instance of the subject. Name would be UI state dot value dot name, and credit hours would be UI state dot value dot credit hours. As this is string, so we will convert it to integer or null, and if it is null then we will use the 0. And now here we will save the note and navigate to the previous screen. So I will define this in next few minutes. So first complete this update credit hours, and actually first start with this update name action dot value, and press alt enter, create this function, and in that we will create a new UI state dot value dot copy and update the name value in it, and UI state dot update the UI state with the new UI state, so this would be reflected on the UI as well, and create a method name call the method update credit hours, pass the value, press alt enter and create this function. In here same way we will have the new UI state variable UI state dot value dot copy, and credit hours would be value dot to int or null, and if it is null then we will set the 0 value. This is taking string here, so we don't need to do the conversion here, and update the UI state with the new UI state. So here we have some spelling mistake. Press CRUD. Okay, and the next would be we need to handle this back icon on click. So we will create a call the method named as back icon on click. Press alt enter to create this one function, and in here we need to send a event from this view model to this UI screen. This is because we cannot perform the navigation stuff within the view model. We need to handle the UI related operations, let's say navigation between screens, or showing any permission dialog to the user, or showing anything related to UI should be triggered from the UI side. So we need to pass that navigation back event to this screen. So for that we will define some events which will be sent from this view model to the UI screen. So for that we will create another interface, AddSubject event, and this would be a sealed interface, and in there we will define those events which will be sent from the view model to the UI screen. So our first and only one event would be navigate back. So we will create a data object and navigate back, and we need to also hold it somewhere in our view model. So here we will create a private data member events, which would be a mutable shared flow, and subject event, and expose a immutable version of these events. as shared flow, and we will emit this event from here. So events dot emit navigate back, as this emit function is a suspend function, so we can only call this from any other suspend function or from a coroutine scope. So we will launch our coroutine scope here, ViewModel scope dot launch. Okay, and the same thing we will do here, that we need to form a navigation bags. Then we will emit this event. Actually, we will call this method back icon on click, and rename this method to, let's say, navigate back. So this will be easy to reuse on different places within this view model. So now we need to listen these events on our UI state and perform the appropriate operations against those. So in our UI screen here, we will use a launched effect method, pass a key to it, and in this we will listen those events, let latest, and use the when condition here, press Alt Enter to add remaining branches, and now here we will call the navigate back method, and also define this navigate method in this composable function parameter as a lambda function. Okay, and now we need to add a few things in our content file. Here we are seeing some warnings, and this requires two parameters, UI state and on action. So first we will create a UI state. Remember, add subject UI state, and pass the UI state in here, and on action is a lambda function. So error have been removed, and now we need to define a screen in our routes. So in our app screens we have defined our routes. So here we will create another route named as data object AddSubject, and in our main activity here we will define this in our navigation graph. AddSubject and AddSubject screen, navigate back, and in that we will call the nav controller dot navigate app, and for testing purpose we will make a start destination to the add subject, so we will be able to see our subject screen. So now let's select the app and run our project on our device. Okay, so we are able to see our add subject screen on our, actually I need to rename this to add subject. I will go to this content file, and in here we will name it as add subject. And if we test the other things, let's say we type anything in the name, and credit hours 30, yes, all these things are okay, and this things won't be functional because we are on the landing screen. So if we run and see the updated title on our this screen. Okay, so all of the things are as per our requirement with the layout structure, and yeah, this is it for today's video. I hope this would be a meaningful information for you. Thank you for watching. Bye.